Hey, what's up guys? You know those adventure photographs that you're envious of on Instagram by like the names of Chris Burkard? Well, in this video, I'm gonna teach you how you can go out in the field and shoot your own amazing adventure photographs. Right after this. Hey, what's up guys? I'm David Johnston, and on this channel we talk landscape photography and everything outdoor photography, really. So if you're into shooting photographs outside at all, like you like going outside taking photographs, consider subscribing to this channel. Now in this video specifically, we're talking adventure photography. It's those photographs you see on Instagram or other social media sites where somebody is in a landscape doing something adventurous. Kayaking, mountain climbing, canoeing, anything like that is going to be an adventure photograph. So what I have for you are 4 things you can do to make your adventure photographs better, or if you've never been out shooting, start off with adventure photography on the right foot. Step number 1 is actually go outside. To do great adventure photographs, you actually have to be there. You actually have to go outside, see what it's like, get in the shoes of the people doing the adventures. Now, this can sometimes get a little bit risky, a little bit dicey, but you actually have to be there shooting while they're out there doing their thing, adventuring, kayaking, canoeing, whatever. So my recommendation is, if you've never done the adventure before, talk to somebody who does it often, invite yourself to go out with them, shoot them for free, figure out how things work in their adventure, and that way you can figure out better compositions, better ideas for photographs. You can even look on Instagram, look on the North Face page on Instagram, look on Chris Burkard's page, find out in adventure photography what makes a good photograph by studying the compositions and studying the adventures that these people are actually going out and doing. All right, number 2, guys, take your camera with you, but that seems like the obvious thing. Take the lens cap off all the time and leave your camera on all the time. Cameras nowadays stay in standby mode, meaning they're always on. They may shut off or sleep, as they might say, but in reality, they're just waiting for that moment that you hold down the shutter button a little bit so that you can take the photograph that you want to get. Always have that lens cap off, because that 1 second where you're clicking the lens cap or moving it, that is going to be the 1 second that you miss in an adventure that could be that epic shot. So always leave your lens cap on if you're worried about your lens getting dirty. Hence, it's going to get dirty with adventure photography. Don't be afraid, it's only a tool. Be sure and get a lens hood if you're worried about that, protecting it from scratches, anything like that. Or you can also get a UV filter to cover the lens if you're worried about branches getting in the way, hitting it on rocks, anything like that. But you want to have that camera always on and your lens cap always off, because you want to be ready at the drop of a hat. Figure out how to hold your camera so that you have easy access to it. Is that just a hand strap? Is it a neck strap? Is it just having it in a fanny pack on your hip so that you can just reach down, grab it, and pull it out? All these things go into capturing that moment best. All right, the number 3 thing that you can do to instantly improve your adventure photographs or start taking better adventure photography is composition. Composition is king in so many things in photography, but adventure photography, it is of the utmost importance. I don't care if you have your settings wrong. If your composition is right, it's going to look better than a photograph where the composition's wrong, but all the settings are right. So compositionally, what you want to do with adventure photography is be sure that you highlight the subject. Figure out what the subject of the photograph is. Usually it's the person doing adventuring, and then place them in negative spaces. You want to place them in areas where they stand out, where people can look at the photograph and instantly see that person adventuring rather than searching around in the photograph for them. So what is a negative space that you can place them in? Well, it could be like a predominant color, like if they're surfing in the ocean, an overall blue against the sky. Any space where there isn't anything else, where they're just going to be highlighted as the subject, is going to be your go-to place to place them or move around so you put them in that place. You want to highlight the subject, not having them in cluttered areas where it's confusing of what they are or what they're doing there. You want to make it very, very obvious in your composition that they are the main subject. So always look for them first, and then look for areas that you can place them in negative spaces and where you can put them compositionally. All right, number 4 piggybacks on that. So you place them in the right place in the photograph, but now what? Like, how can you make them stand out a little bit more? Well, what I learned from a photographer named Andrew Studer, he said what he always does to make an adventure or the subject stand out more is barely paint in contrast and clarity on them when you're in Lightroom. So what does that mean? It means you barely take the adjustment brush and then paint over their body with the adjustment brush, and then barely increase the contrast and clarity so that they stand out even more against negative spaces or the rest of the photograph. Now be careful with these, because if you do it too much, you'll end up making the subject seem fake or photoshopped in, anything like that. So keep your adjustments minimal, small, but enough that it kind of makes them pop out from the rest of the photograph. All right guys, that does it for this video. I know you're gonna have awesome time going out and shooting these adventures. Remember, I am not liable for any broken arms or anything like that in your photography. Just be careful going out and shooting these adventures, but always be sure that you keep these tips in mind when you're going out and shooting these adventures too. If you liked this video or enjoyed it all, learned from it, anything like that, don't be shy. Hit the thumbs up button, guys. Comment on the question below. I wanna know, what is your favorite adventure that you've ever been on? If you've never been on an adventure, tell us what you plan to do with your adventure photography. And then also subscribe to this channel. If you wanna learn more about photography, if you wanna learn how to improve your photography for free, YouTube doesn't cost anything, go ahead and subscribe to this channel so that you can get videos in your inbox all the time. Continuing watching is always an option too. You can watch this playlist on Lightroom tricks to make your photographs better, since we talked about Lightroom in this video, or you can watch this video that YouTube is suggesting that you watch based on your search terms.